Hey, Bolo Buddies, thanks for watching. Okay, so I have a featured Poshmark seller, and these are some Bolo items. Most of them are clothing because that's mostly what sells on Poshmark. I will tell you that typically items that are a be on the lookout Bolo item for Poshmark are also be on the lookout items for eBay. So just because you don't sell on Poshmark, don't turn off the video. You're still going to see some useful information of items to look for to source. If you have an eBay store or a Poshmark store and you have a lot of Bolos, items that you bought low and sold high, and you'd like to share that and get some exposure for your store, kind of like this video, feel free to join my Facebook group down in the description of the video and private message me, and I'll look at your store and see if we can put something together. All right, be sure to subscribe if you haven't by clicking the subscribe button. Also like the video, that helps bump me in the search results and I greatly appreciate it. And we're gonna get started with some Bolos, guys. All right, the first item is this Doc Martens like messenger bag. And Doc Martens can be a definite Bolo. The shoes usually do well. Some of them do really well, and they can be a really big Bolo. So definitely be on the lookout for those, even if they're used, okay? Pre-owned still sells. That's one thing that I've recently tried to get over, and I've started buying pre-owned shoes because people will buy them and they will pay up for them. So definitely be on the lookout. The member of my Facebook group, my Bolo Buddies Facebook group, picked this up at a local thrift store for $6, and it was part of a 3-piece bundle. The person bought 2 shirts and the bag, paid $64 for it. Now, Poshmark does take 20% of the sale, so keep that in mind. If you've never sold on Poshmark, they do take 20%. But there's no listing fees and there's no monthly fees like to have a store or anything like that. So that's kind of nice. It really, I think, all evens out in the end. The next item is this Chevrolet vintage satin jacket. Picked this up at a thrift store, paid $3 for it and sold it for $40. And he did say that some of these go for even more money, that this one was not a super high one. He said something about Heartbeat of America graphics, which I'm not sure what that means, but some of you may know what it means. So those are the ones that go for more. The next item is this spider jacket. This was just a pre-owned item that he had in his house, and he sold this for $28. Spider is typically kind of an expensive brand, so even pre-owned, you can get decent margins out of it. He sold that for $28. Now this one's cool. This is a vintage World Cup soccer windbreaker. Apex One, it looks like, is the brand. Never heard of it. And this came from a local thrift store. Paid $3 for it. He got it all. It was tagged 6, but it was half off weekend, so he only paid $3. He had quite a few offers that he did not accept. He hoped for more on this one, but he took a $35 offer. So again, you have to decide with how much you have in the item and decide if you want to hang on to it and wait for somebody who's going to pay more, or if you just want to move the listing. And I mean, $3 into $35 is still pretty good, in my opinion. All right, so this is a Fire Department Afghanistan large tee Bagram. Not sure if that's, let's see. I don't know. Fire department, must be a department somewhere. But he got this from a church thrift store. He said the little old lady's face seeing this at the checkout was almost as valuable as the sale. So this she must have been like, oh my goodness. But anyway, he paid $2 for this. And this was a part of the messenger bag that I showed you in the beginning, that he got $64 for the 3 items. But he said, look for cool graphics, rarity, military, firefighters. So those were all things that helped sell this item. The next item is this Coogi tie. Coogi, I'm sure all of you know by now that if you can find a Coogi sweater, you're going to have a Bolo on your hands. But this is a Coogi tie, which is pretty cool. He got this at the Goodwill for $1.99 and sold it for $30. On Poshmark, if you don't know, shipping is paid for by the buyer. So $30, and then you take off the 20% fees. So that would be $6. So he got $24 is what he walked with for this, had $2 in it. So $22 profit on this Kuji tie. I hope that made sense. The next item is this distressed pullover, which this one kind of surprised me. It's just like a hoodie. But he got it at a local thrift store, half off weekend, so he paid $3 and it sold for $25. He said he grabbed it just because the quality and condition, and he knew it was a pretty good big university. It does look like a comfortable like sweatshirt. I love comfortable sweatshirts. Rock Revival. I have not sold a lot of these, but I have been seeing that these can be a bolo, so it's definitely something that I'm gonna start looking for. I think they make these in men's also. Correct me if I'm wrong. These local thrift store were tagged 10, got them on half off weekend, sold them for $25. Great brand to watch for, though the style isn't as sought after as others. So he says that this, I don't know if it's because they're boot cut or because they have the flat pockets, but still $25 on a $5 purchase is definitely a item in my opinion. These Vans tie-dye shoes, he got these at the Goodwill. He paid $1. He can't recall tag price, but got them on Dollar Monday. So sold them for $25. He said Vans are a pretty steady sale item and the funky colors do well. The next item are these Ralph Lauren military surplus cargo shorts. Ralph Lauren, I would say, typically is a good brand to pick up. Got these at a local thrift store, sold for $25, and he paid $2 for them. And he said cargo style does fairly well for him. This vintage Marlboro hoodie, 2X is the size. He got this at an estate sale, $3. Saw it Saturday, didn't want to pay $6, so he went back and grabbed it on half off Sunday. Sold it for $28. He said vintage Marlboro stuff seems to comp pretty well for some reason. This one is pretty basic with just a simple little shoulder patch, but it still sold quickly. All right, these are Doc Marten leather sandals. And again, like I said at the beginning of the video, Doc Martens typically do well, even with like the feet stains. Like you can see the toe marks and everything, which to me is like, ah! But yeah, Goodwill paid $1 for them and sold them for $25. He said, I know Doc Martens are supposed to move well, but these actually took forever. Ultimately a great flip, just took some time. And I think that the sandals are a little more slow moving. It's the boots, the taller boots, not super tall, but like above the ankle, that I typically see that sell well. And then the shoe style. But, you know, paying $1 and selling an item for $25 is still definitely a good margin. I wouldn't pay like $8 or $10 for those sandals, but if you can pick them up for $1 or $2, definitely. Okay, these are acid wash jeans. And stoned washed, acid washed, you know, they're harder to find. They're vintage. Some people are still really like wanting this style of jeans. So if you can pick them up cheap, definitely do that. He got these at an estate sale, same place as the Marlboro hoodie. He paid $2 for them and they sold for $27. He said he had no idea on comps, but the brand was right and they were 80s style and amazing. These appeared to never have been worn and sold a second pair from the same place for $30 on eBay. All right, so Dale Earnhardt, I don't know how to say it. Earnhardt. You all know, if you watch my videos, I pronounce things wrong all the time. So I am guilty of that. It's just how I was made. Anyway, this is new with tags, new old stock, vintage, and picked this up at a local thrift store, got it on half off day. So he paid $3, sold it for $22. He said he hoped for a bit more, but took a deal because generally NASCAR stuff does seem to move pretty slowly for me. I think Dale Sr. might be an exception to that rule. I'm just reading you the notes that he gave me because I think it's helpful. This vintage Wrangler Western Pearl Snap shirt. It is an extra large. I think that the bigger sizes sell better. That's just my opinion. He got this at the Goodwill. It sold, or he paid $1 and it sold for 16. So not a huge bolo, but definitely good profit margins and a good bread and butter item. All right, this Seattle Mariners, it's a rare giveaway ball cap, and he got this at a local thrift store. He paid $1 for it and sold it for $46, so that is awesome. He did some research and found out it was a stadium giveaway during a Seattle Mariners salute to Latin American Players Week back around 10 years ago. So that means it's rare in a niche market. The next item are these bright pink ski pants, and they are Spider brand also. Here's the little Spider brand logo, and these again were just something that he had pre-owned, so he had $0 in them and sold for $36. All right, so this is a winter coat. I've never heard of this brand. Karizma, Karizma. Let's see. He got it at the Goodwill for $1 and it sold for $34. He said there weren't any comps, but these really early, it was really early in his reselling career, just thinking it looked quality. Took a while, but eventually someone liked the vintage look. I don't know if it's actually vintage or if it's just looks vintage. So again, this probably sold more based on style from what I'm gathering. It may be vintage. I don't know. All right, these Nike pre-owned shoes. Again, I'm always shocked by the pre-owned shoes. Paid $5.99 at the Goodwill and sold them for $33. He said he paid up for these, paid up for them at $5.99. That sounds like me. I'm so cheap. Like I want everything for like $1 or $2. But he comped them in the store, meaning he searched solds. And these were a re-release of a classic vintage shoe, and there just weren't many of them available. A little bit dirty, but a quick cleaning session, and they looked so sharp. And they didn't last long. Actually sold twice after an eBay buyer failed to pay. Now this one is super, super cool. Ultra rare Drum Corps International satin jacket. He got this at the Goodwill for $2.99, and he sold this for $150. He said this was a find inside the women's jacket shelf, actually. Cued in on the satin jacket and the neon design, ultimately could only find one other listed for sale anywhere. Posted for $200 and took an offer. Guy was a former DCI member, it turned out, and was incredibly excited. I felt like I could have held out for more, but it is such a niche market. I could have been waiting for a long time, and it was already an incredible return. So yeah, I would say $3 item into $150 is an incredible return for sure. I don't know what DCI is. I don't know what Drum Corps is. Let's see. Is that like I don't know. Anybody know? Comment below if you know. All right, these Prada fashion sneakers. He got at a local thrift store. He did pay $12.50 for these, but they sold for $50. One of two Pradas I picked up at the same time. These had some scuffs and damage, so these took a little longer to hit in value because of that. Still an amazing flips. The others were more rare sneakers, and they were international, or they sold international for about $125 on eBay. So Prada is definitely a well-known high-end brand. There's some pictures for you. Let's see if we can get there you go. Picture of the label on the inside. All right, the last item is this reversible North Face jacket. I think most of us know that North Face, if you can pick it up cheap, I find a lot of it at garage sales, and actually my North Face are not moving as quickly as I had hoped. Maybe it's because it's summer. That could be. But yeah, I pick up North Face whenever I can at garage sales. This, again, was just a personal item, and it sold for $30. Okay, so I want to take you into Troy's closet here. and his username is tsh0ck. So tsh0ck, and he has a lot of cool home items. I don't know if you guys know, but Poshmark recently started allowing us to sell home items, which is pretty awesome because it's been primarily clothing, shoes, accessories, and items like that. So this is a new thing. So if you're selling on eBay and you want to expand and maybe try another platform, you can sell home items on Posh. So I'm just going to scroll through and show you some of his things that he has listed. And I'm going to post a link to his store down in I'm sorry, not his store, his closet. And if you would click on that and follow him and share some of his items, that would be awesome. That would also show him some appreciation for taking the time to write out all this awesome, useful information that has helped us all learn how to source items to sell on Poshmark. Again, guys, if you want to be featured like Troy, please feel free to join my Facebook group down below and private message me. Be sure to subscribe and click that like button. That helps me. And if you want to get alerts when I post new videos, click that little bell and that will alert you. I go live every Wednesday night with the Bolo Show, and that's an interactive Bolo live show where you bring your Bolos to the show, put them in the chat, and it will get you exposure to your store, help others learn, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to learn. So definitely check that out Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys, I have kept you for quite a while, so I am going to say have a good day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.